This is the Hinsdale House, formerly known as the Dandy House. For over a century, this has been the site of local paranormal activity. See, as soon as you enter, you're even greeted by spirits. I'm standing at the Jamestown Community College location in Olean. This is one of the 2 places in the county that is open for early voting. Early voting is open to all eligible voters within the county that are registered. Voting starts on Saturday, October 24th and concludes on Sunday, November 1st. Despite following state and local guidelines, lecture halls like these are now empty. Why? Because 90% of classes are now online. The Hinsdale House, sometimes called the most haunted house in New York, attracts those interested in the unknown from far and wide. Daniel Class first became familiar with the house through his paranormal investigations. Following several ghostly encounters and a suspected encounter with a deceased resident of the house, Dan knew he had to buy the soon-to-be demolished property.
It solidified the fact that I wanted to try to save that location. So I started the process to see what I needed to do to try to save it from getting demolished.
This is the Hinsdale House, formerly known as the Dandy House. For over a century, this has been the site of local paranormal activity. See, as soon as you enter, you're even greeted by spirits. The house, the location of a failed exorcism in the 70s, continues to garner attention. Some people go to the house for the experience.
We were even kind of skeptics at first until we were there and actually experienced it ourselves.
Right, so it's really not our usual thing.
Others, like Kami, go to investigate the paranormal.
In paranormal circles, it's very well known as a hotspot for bizarre activity.
Hinsdale proved to be a different kind of haunt for the group.
Regardless of the amount of experiences that we all have in this field, we were all scared.
The investigative group used their tools and believed they got in contact with spirits in the house.
Saying things like they want energy or that the house needs to feed, which isn't typical of a usual human-based haunting.
The Haunt Me team left the house believing human spirits were there.
But there is definitely something else in there that maybe has never been human, and I'm afraid to give that a label because I don't feel like it would be completely accurate.
For SBU TV, I'm Zachary Murphy. Protests similar to this were a common sight to see over the summer. Olean had its own protest as well. I'm standing at the first roundabout between East State Street and South Union Street, the place of the first protest following George Floyd's death last May. The ORJC, the Olean Racial Justice Coalition, came about after the large turnout at the initial protest.
It just kind of snowballed from there, and different people have come in and started running it, and now it's become like this big group, so.
The ORJC plans events to educate the community on racism, as well as to protest, giving citizens an opportunity to show their support of the movement.
You know, I fought in Vietnam with them. Didn't make any difference what your color was. You're my brother. And black lives matter.
Whether there are a few protesting or many, they always get reactions from passerbys, whether they are of support or not. I'm Zachary Murphy with SBU TV. Election season is nearly at its peak. With the presidential election a little over 2 weeks away, the Cattaraugus County Board of Elections is getting ready.
This was our busiest year, obviously, and will be the busiest general election on November 3rd.
COVID-19 changes the way the election is held this year. Of the 45,000 eligible voters in the county, over 4,500 people have requested absentee voting ballots.
And 4 years ago, after Election Day, the total was 2,100. So we've seen nearly a double or a more than double increase in the request for absentee ballots.
The election board spoke with the Department of Health in Cattaraugus County and worked closely with Dr. Kevin Watkins about safety measures for voting.
Made a lot of our PPE purchases, and what we've bought has been discussed with them before we purchased it.
PPE boxes containing gloves, masks, face shields, and disinfectants, among other things, are to be given out to every polling location. There will be 2 early voting locations open. I'm standing at the Jamestown Community College location in Olean. This is one of the 2 places in the county that is open for early voting. Early voting is open to all eligible voters within the county that are registered. Voting starts on Saturday, October 24th and concludes on Sunday, November 1st. I'm Zachary Murphy with SBU TV.